Well, I'm just gonna start going. So the audio sounds bad, and you'll be able to hear my younger brother in the background, rather, because he's yelling. He's playing 2K, and there's nothing I can do about it. But for 2025, I wanted to start a sort of daily video journal type of thing, and I figured, where better to start than to do it on Minecraft, the place where this YouTube channel really started all these years back. And of course I'm being nostalgic, but it is what it is. So the purpose of this video is to introduce the next 364 videos rather, that I want to do. I want to do this daily, and I kind of am using it as a way of keeping myself accountable towards my goals for this year. And I have a few. They're not too difficult. Nothing I couldn't have accomplished last year. Nothing that I should have procrastinated a year to do. But ultimately, I made a pretty significant life decision last year, at the end of last year, to move from New York to Indianapolis with my family. And I was working as an accountant in New York City, doing basically my dream job. But I wanted to be able to optimize for growth for my career. And it might sound like a funny thing to say that, while also moving away from the place where my career is potentially could grow the most. I mean, there's a debate. Perhaps Austin, perhaps San Francisco or something like that. But it's one of the top 3 places to be. Not Austin, I said it's Dallas, but anyway. Yeah. Actually, the first thing that I want to talk about to keep myself accountable to this year is actually finishing school. So I'm 10 years removed from my freshman year at Indiana University, which is, it feels like a blink, honestly. It does not feel like 10 years. I'm not going to say these 10 years were wasted. That's obviously just not true. I've done a lot of things. Met a lot of great people, had a lot of great times, and I don't regret a minute of my life so far, to be completely honest, There are days, obviously, we all get these, right, where you think to yourself, maybe it would have been better had I done something else, had I spent my time a different way, or something like that, right? And undeniably so, even for myself, I could say that is the case, right? But ultimately, I have to say, pretty happy with the decisions I've made. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it or anything, right? But since we are 10 years out of being in college, and I've been kind of lollygagging, I guess, on completing my secondary education, going through phases where I feel like it was unnecessary, going through phases where I think it is basically one of the most necessary things a young person can do. And I don't think either of those things are necessarily factual, right? I don't need to go to, nobody needs it, right? But in order to have the kind of career I want to have, the kind of lifestyle that I want to have, I think it's pretty prescient, because ultimately I don't really see myself as a how do you say, well, I'm not trying to offend anybody, right? But either an internet charlatan, right, in which I try to sell products to my viewers, or some kind of multi-level marketing guru, that kind of guy, right? And I also don't see myself as, a blue-collar startup kind of guy, not interested in doing plumbing or HVAC or something like that, or power washing business. These are the kind of vogue things that young guys try to do to make a couple bucks here and there. So I'm not really interested in any of those. I think it's just the best option for me personally, And there's some political motivations as well. We don't necessarily have to talk about those here, but if you know, you know, I suppose. So yeah, goal number 1, I want to complete the WGU sprint. You'll see a lot of videos about this. All you have to do is look it up. But the abridged version is essentially through great effort and money, essentially. It's fairly possible to complete a bachelor's degree from a couple of accredited online colleges through a combination of like credit getting via the internet, like study.com, that kind of thing, and then implementing those credits to your because like those credits are taken by universities like Purdue and WG, etc. So you can kind of combine those two to create a bachelor's and get a bachelor's within a year, and that's what I plan to do. And yeah, hopefully be well on my way to getting my CPA and my master's, because that's basically just what I want to do. It's a interesting job. I like it a lot. I know it's like surprising. A lot of people hate accounting, but I actually like it. I actually think it has a lot of potential growth for young professionals, because people just aren't doing it anymore, and there's a lot of worries about jobs getting out offshore to India, etc., and all that. I get that. I'm aware, but at the end of the day, we kind of have to, there's inherent risk involved in every career path, I suppose. So why not do something you find enjoyable? And I'm one of the sick people that finds bean counting to be pretty enjoyable. So I think I'll just do that. Speaking of bean counting, my other goal for 2025. Well, I have three. Okay, so the first one is I want to, of course, finish the sprint, which I did work on. I didn't work on it today. Today was an unfortunate day because I'm recording this video at 11:30 at night, and I wanted to only be 5 minutes long, but it's the first one, so I'll give myself some slack. And I have a lot to talk about, I suppose. So again, sorry for the yelling in the back. Nothing I can do about it. He's his own man. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yes. So my three goals, right? So the first one was obviously the sprint. The second one is going to be I want to be debt free, like commercial debt free. I think I'm gonna end up taking another $3,000 worth of loans in Q3 of this year, which is fine because that's gonna be education loans. But I currently have about $6,000 and odd dollars of commercial debt that I racked up over the years. I was working a job that was much more highly paying than what I'm currently working. I could have easily paid off my debt in, a few months if I really tried, but I would pay it down and then use it, fly around, do all the stupid shit that you're not supposed to do, and ultimately, so I need to pay off that. And then my third goal is to lose 100 pounds. I currently weigh, as of this morning, 329 pounds, which isn't great. But it's better than where I've been, in the very near future. For some perspective, when I moved to Indianapolis in the end of September, the 1st of October, in fact, it was September 31st, I decided I would try to lose some weight, and I successfully lost 20 pounds in about 4 weeks. Not, in my opinion, it wasn't like a unhealthy way. Everybody has their own fucking opinions about diets and all that, right? But I essentially just did 36-hour fasting, 10,000 steps a day, and then I did alternate day. Yeah, 36-hour fasting with 10,000 steps per day, and I just tried to eat a lot of protein. And I wasn't too picky about the source of protein. Cottage cheese, it's fine, yogurt, and all that. I basically ate Greek yogurt and blueberries for breakfast every day with like 5 eggs, and then I would have like chicken or something, and then I wouldn't eat the next day, and then I just did that for 4 weeks, and I achieved 20 pounds of weight loss, and I've kept it off ever since. So I would like to lose another 100 pounds. I think it's definitely possible, especially because I'm taking Ozempic. So I'm gonna lock in and don't overeat, which it's pretty hard to overeat, honestly. Now I think I should be able to easily lose 100 pounds. Maybe that's overconfident, but that's just where I'm at. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this, just to get back on just making YouTube videos again. And there's some other projects I would like to complete this year, as well as doing like my sprint, for example. Like, um, I've streamed on this channel, not in a month, but in the month of November, I streamed this channel well over 20 hours. I built a little rig in order to stream my Nintendo GameCube live because I like to play on the console. I'm not really big on emulation, to be honest. I mean, it has its place, but it's just not preferable to me. And I like playing games on a CRT. It just does it for me. But anyway, I streamed about 20 hours in November, which was very entertaining for myself, but I don't think entertaining for anybody else. I had a couple of like 3-4 viewer streams, which were probably all my friends, but again, I always appreciate it. And that was in service of a bigger YouTube project because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, which actually just reminded me of my fourth kind of goal. It's not so much a goal, but it's just like a behavioral attitude change that I'm attempting. But yeah, I want to complete my project, my Harvesting Magical Melody project. What that entails is I want to contact the web admins of the Ushi no Tame site and just finish the fucking wiki because it's just not finished and it's a 20-year-old game. So I'd like to aid with that if I can. And then also other YouTubers make videos about Hearthstone sometimes, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm deeply unimpressed by the level of play in Hearthstone, which might sound like a crazy thing to say, but Hearthstone is really not, it's really not a like what is a farming game, I guess is the question, right? And farming is essentially just planning, central planning, accounting, these kinds of things, right? And because all the information is given to you at the beginning via the guide books or whatever, there's like a big difference between your first playthrough and then your second playthrough and then your 10th playthrough, right? It's like it's something that you can iterate on almost infinitely, in my opinion. And there's so many ways of going about beating the game. So I'm not here to shame anybody for how they play Harvest Moon, but at the same time, I think some people make videos where they make big claims like, oh, I beat Harvest Moon in X amount of days and this is how I did it, and that in itself isn't a claim. But then you watch like simple misplays, and I feel like there's some very basic things to be addressed in the sort of meta game for Harvest Moon. And it's just a fun project. It's a fun problem / project to think about because it's just one of my favorite games. And watching other people play the game genuinely is so entertaining for me because I see things that I would never think to do, and then I think, oh wow, that was fucking really stupid, man. Like why'd you do it like that? And it's all very silly. It's like I'm sounding so serious about like just a fucking farming simulator from 20 years ago, but it's a game that I'm like genuinely passionate about, and Hearthstone has always had a pretty passionate fan base, so I know I'm not alone with regards to that, but yeah, I feel like there's just a ways to go in quality of gameplay of this GameCube game, so I'm excited to kind of explore that more, and I should do. Lastly, and the thing I kind of mentioned with the whole Harvest Moon debacle, right? I genuinely want to try to watch less YouTube. Okay, I've been watching YouTube many hours a day since I was like 15 years old, unironically. I'm 28 now. Gonna be 30 in a few years, and I think that by the time I'm 30, if I keep at this pace, I will have watched easily 2 to 3 hours of YouTube every single day since I was like 14, 15 years old. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing in and of itself, right? But I will say that there is certainly a meritocracy when it comes to media consumption. And I think that if I had perhaps invested 2 hours a day into classical Western literature or something like that, then there would be, a net positive to be gained through such actions, right? And, not to glaze the Western classic or anything like that, but it's like, I think that's pretty like self-evident by the by like the quality of like people. You know what I mean? And I guess in a way, it's kind of like, what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to say that like, you know, watching YouTube is bad? Why are you making a YouTube video? Well, I'm making a YouTube video for myself mostly, but also it's because I just think it's an interesting thing to do. Like making YouTube and consuming YouTube is like not really the same thing, you know. But I think everybody kind of knows that. I don't think I need to explain that. Yeah, so that was my last little goal, was just to consume less YouTube, make some YouTube, in fact, because I have just been passively enjoying, and genuinely since I was a kid, like I made in 2015, I think I made a video a day for. It wasn't even a video day. It was really 3 videos a day. Yeah, I made about 90 videos in a month for a channel called David Drum back in the day, which I think is still linked on this account, right? So, yeah, I mean, I just genuinely enjoy the process, and why not do something you love? You know, if you really love it, like, why give it away? And you know, oftentimes, like, the darkest thought that I suppose that I have pretty frequently is like, wow, I'm lame now. And I think a lot of like midlife, not midlife, but like people that are like young creatives that like spend a lot of time making YouTube videos or art or whatever, or have a lot of creative vision and had a lot of youthful energy and drive, that kind of gets displaced as you know, become a member of society and like care about politics and the workforce and like all this kind of shit, right? When you start paying taxes, if you will. Something like, one of my greatest fears, I guess, is like, why am I lamer than I was when I was a kid? Like, when I was a kid, I made 90 videos in a month. What are we talking about, man? In 2017, I wrote for a small gaming blog, and that gaming blog got me. It's called The Tigers and Geeks, and it got me into a ESL where I got to see. You know, was it 2017 or 2016? I can't quite remember, but I remember I was at ESL Boston when C9 won. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that happens when you are doing things. That's not something that can happen if you're watching YouTube videos. That's something that can happen if you're creating esports content. Does that make sense? I mean, it's obvious, right? But like, is it? Is it really that obvious? Because if it was obvious, then why is it that not everybody's making esports content? Why is it that some people are consuming and some people are, you know, creating? And if it's really just a matter of writing a couple articles a year in order for me to get access to these places and these people that I want, why don't I just do it? You know, it's like so it's not a hard question to answer. The answer is, you know, I'm fucking. Maybe I feel sapped. Maybe my energy is gone. Maybe my heroic vitality is gone. You know, when I was a little bit younger, 7 years ago, it was like the most important thing I could do for myself was write an article. And now the most important thing I can do for myself is watch YouTube videos for fucking 3 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. And it's like funny, but it's really not. That's the key. It's funny, but it's like, it's kind of sad, honestly. And I'm not doing this for anybody to feel bad for me. You know, this is like, I wanted this to be a 5-minute vlog where I talked about how I decided to do this vlog, this daily video journal. Is that a vlog? I don't fucking know. We're playing Minecraft, okay? But I did this because I just wanted to make the video. I said, look, man, I told myself for the past week, I've been thinking about it for a week, okay? I'm gonna make this fucking video. And the time came, and I got home from work. I had to wake up super early today to go open a fucking restaurant, and then I was there all day. I just got home, and I was tired. I didn't want to do it, but you know, and the audio is gonna be fucked. You're gonna hear a guy yelling about 2K in the background the entire time. He's gonna shout his friends' names when they miss shots, and don't pass the ball. But it's like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? If nobody watched this video, at least I was able to have this moment with myself. I think that's the most important thing, right? And who knows, maybe a year from now, I watch this video. Maybe I make the videos. Maybe I make my Horizon video. Maybe, you know, there's just infinite possibilities, right? Who knows? For all I fucking know, man, 5 years from now, I could be a CPA living in New York City or some shit with an apartment, and I log on after a hard day at the Leighton Stag, right? And I decide, hey, I want to record a vlog, you know what I mean? Much like this one, like, and then I can create my own sort of universe around my vlog that I made in 2025. I think the year of our Lord, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of rambling. That was a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I wanted this video to come out by this time. That was the original goal. It's 11:45. Okay, let's put a number on it. Okay, date my video 1/1/11:45. Chris Matsura cutting down trees with the timber mod, an evergreen mod, really, on a slightly older version of Minecraft 1.2.06. Playing on Quake Pro, and truthfully, I know. Okay, guys, if you're this far in the video, you're probably just one of my friends, or literally just me. But I know Minecraft viewers hate Quake Pro. Okay, and that's why I always recorded on Quake Pro, and that's why I always played on Quake Pro. Okay, the reason why I play on Quake Pro is because I fucking like it. I can see more. Okay, the game, it feels more fun and fast to play for me. Okay, it's entirely self-preferential. I do not give a fuck about what Minecraft viewers like. Okay, when I used to make YouTube videos when I was a kid, I would get complaints like from people, like, because I would do like these small SMP servers. I might unprivate some of those videos or some shit. If somebody really wants to see them, I'll fucking unlist them. Okay, but they're very cringe, and I used to get complaints from my fellow server members like, bro, why do you record on Quake Pro? You can't fucking, like, the game looks terrible. And I'm like, first of all, it's fucking Minecraft, buddy. The game looks terrible no matter what. Second off, I don't give a fuck what you guys like, because I have to play the game. I have to look at this game for 5 hours a night after school while I try to build something to kind of keep my content on track with, like, my favorite YouTubers who at the time were the Minecrafters, right? So if I have to look at this shit for 5 hours, I want it to look the way I want it to look. I literally do not give a fuck what other 15-year-olds think about the way my game looks. And at 28, let me tell you, 15-year-old me was fucking spitting. Okay, fuck you guys. Yeah. I think that's it. I could just sit here and yap more, but I really don't have anything else to say. Tomorrow, the plan is that I will wake up, I'll go on a walk, okay, 10,000 steps, which I believe is like, what, 5 miles or some shit? Yeah, I do that every day anyway. I'll wake up and do that first thing in the morning, and then I shall get home and work on my English 104 class for study.com. I need to, like, write some papers and shit, which is cool. I don't mind. I actually quite like it. And then once I'm done with that, do some reading. Kind of want to read the Bible this year. Not that I'm particularly religious, but just from like a being intimately familiar with the canon of the West, the Western canon, if you will. I'd like to give it a read once again, as I did in my youth. So yeah, we'll see. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Maybe you'll be Minecraft again. Maybe it won't. Yeah, I genuinely did not intend for it to be Minecraft, but you know, we roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying, kids?